So the achievement gap that I'm going to be talking about has to do with the college campus and how college is already expensive enough, and a lot of students can't afford those really high-end textbooks and websites that we have to do homework on, and it adds up. A lot of students can't afford it, so a lot of students don't end up getting the textbooks, which in turn they lose studying opportunities for the exams. So I know that me personally I've found it hard to justify buying a $300 textbook just for a few chapters. And then it's really hard to sell. I know that there's opportunities to rent the textbooks, but they're still very expensive. Some college professors decide that it is too expensive, so they provide copies of what the exact material we need for the exams and what to study, and they provide all that so we don't have to purchase any additional textbooks, materials, anything like that. The proposed solution that I would be thinking of would possibly be that the higher-ups in the ASU community and other college campuses as well would have to all decide that there should be no requirements for additional purchases of textbooks, and the textbooks are provided for us, or at least being able to give us copies of the portions of the textbooks that are needed, so that we don't have to spend a ton of money on the textbooks, because we're already spending enough on the college courses themselves. So, and that adds up after 8 semesters. So we would have to go up to the ASU, board, or whoever decides that. They would have to make it a state, a school round rule, and it would be a little bit difficult because I know that some professors tend to already have their course already made up, and the book and websites and stuff that you have to purchase are incorporated into their already set curriculum, but I believe that they would be able to somehow maneuver around the cost, and they'd be able to change their curriculum up a bit to help students afford it more. I know that that's going to be a problem, as some professors are going to be very stubborn about it, but if it is a rule at ASU, if it is part of the ASU policy, then the professors would have no choice but to change the rules. So that would be one of the biggest obstacles. Pretty lucky that there would be really no resources needed, besides the higher-ups' time, in order to sit down, have a meeting, discuss the pros and cons of possibly implementing this new rule. But all professors would need to agree on it and come to a conclusion that yes, it's a good idea. However, we're going to need to warn to warn the professors that they're going to need to change some of their curriculum based off of not being able to buy textbooks. So I think if it somehow miraculously becomes a reality, then the outcome would be that I think more students would have great benefits. They would have more opportunities to succeed because they would have access to all the same materials that all the other students have. If they would all have equal opportunities to do well on the tests and the exams and studying, and they would all have the ability to get the same grade, versus other students being able to get higher grades because they have more material to study from, based off of the students who can't afford the textbooks. So I think it's important to me specifically and the community, because I'm pretty sure it would save a lot of people time and money and effort to implement this. I know that me personally, I have had problems already struggling to afford all the textbooks. I think I spent over $750 on textbooks, materials, lab manuals, goggles and lab coats, and all that stuff in just one semester, just one. If the labs provided goggles and provided different size lab coats, then each class would be able to reuse those lab coats and goggles, and nobody would have to go and buy them at the bookstore for unrealistic prices. And same goes with textbooks. Some of the professors that I've had knows that, it's too expensive to have students buy these textbooks, so they'll actually just make copies of the like small sections that we need and then post it for us, so it's available to everybody at no charge. So I do believe that that would be a huge help in the college community, and maybe it would spread throughout other college courses, or other college campuses and courses and everything. So